Welcome to Still the Franchise. I'm still Daniel Ehrenberg, and this is still the host on the ones and the twos. I like to say the ones and the twos because it's almost like the twos are the sequel to the ones.
Oh.
Right?
Sure.
We're the franchise.
Right. Sure.
All right, still the D-Train over here. Still Henry Papali over there.
Yeah.
Always Henry Papali over there.
It's probably not going to really be different. I guess the H-Hook over here this week.
Great.
Yeah. H-Hook over here. Welcome, everybody, to episode 271, another milestone number. 10 more than the asterisk of 61, so that's mainly why.
That's right, but lots more episodes if you sign up on patreon.com/thefranchise. And if you haven't done that yet, to quote Jennifer Love Hewitt, what are you waiting for, huh?
And we got a little reprise of that.
We did. How about that? Right at the opening of the movie, there's sort of an audio montage of all your favorite moments from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and so you get to hear "What Are You Waiting For?" because that's everybody's favorite moment. And were you referring to that or the other reprise later in the movie when Jennifer Love Hewitt throws her arms wide and sort of like does the same sort of line reading as in the first one? I wrote down the line. It was what do you hear? Do you hear me? Come and get me!
Yeah.
How about Hewitt? Do you think she's improved in the last year?
No. But I mean, I didn't think there was that much wrong the last time.
That's true.
I do think that in his limited screen time, I thought Freddie Prinze was a tad better.
Yeah, but that is some limited screen time.
Correct. Maybe that contributed.
I couldn't believe how limited it was.
Well, yeah, me neither. I was a little surprised at that, given him top billing and
all
that.
It was so limited, I felt like I was clothes shopping at a mall.
And actually, I should go in reverse for a minute, because really the only time I thought he was better was when he was displaying the anger emotion.
Oh, I thought he was good when he was in the hospital bed passed out.
That's a great point, and I concede it to you.
He wore those scars well.
Yeah, no, he did for the tumble he took.
Yeah,
he was up and at him.
That said, how much did you want Freddie Prinze to die and John Hawkes to survive?
Oh, man.
Couldn't believe I was looking at John Hawkes in this movie. You know, I gotta say, the one everyone talks about, Jack Black, okay, we're covering I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, all right? The sequels to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right.
Jack Black is in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and I feel like that is the one people love to bring up. Like, hey, you want to know a fun piece of trivia? Jack Black is in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. But I feel like John Hawkes is even crazier.
Of course, but nobody fucking knows who he is except total cinema buffs like us. I mean,
John Hawkes, he's been acting forever. I saw him in a movie from 1987 yesterday. He looked like a fucking infant.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, man. Just fucking whatever he's in, he's fucking great.
He makes it a tiny bit better.
Yeah, it's not possible for him to give a shitty performance no matter how ludicrous the role.
Yeah.
He's great.
He was in my top 50 favorite actors list on patreon.com.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
That's fantastic. I don't think he made mine, but he absolutely could.
Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. The only way to know is to subscribe $5 and listen.
Hardcore promotion.
I'm not sure why. I didn't go into this expecting to do this.
I love it. I'm kind of liking it. Just next we're going to get Honda and what we've been waiting for, the Mitsubishi, the Lysol ads. We got to just do it, man. Then we're set. We don't have to work anymore.
You think Lysol's advertising on podcasts?
Of course, ever since Assface said it could cure COVID, sure, they're trying to get their brand back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard Sunlight is advertising as well.
Really, the sun itself
Yeah,
is trying
yeah.
to get its rep back.
Yeah, yeah. You got, it's been lumped in with hydroxychloroquine lately. So
Right.
what are these jokes from a year ago?
Yeah. Last night there was a full moon. The moon's like, I'm still here, guys. You can talk about me.
I do all the time. Love the moon.
It's a full
Right?
one last night. You see that?
No,
It was a
you think I was outside? I'm on vacation, Henry. I am not leaving my apartment.
I know you're not. It was a beautiful blue moon. It was a very strange thing.
Oh, I saw you standing alone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It had an annoying tune that it was emanating from it all
I
the
like
way
that tune. That's a good tune.
millions of miles away.
Blue Moon? You don't like that song?
No, not really.
That's wild. What about Moon River?
That's better.
Is that the best Moon song?
No.
Is it? Here's a wonderful night for a moon dance.
That's a decent song. I like Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay.
Fucking you little prog ass bitch over there.
I've been called that, truth be told, many times. Prog ass bitch. For my love of bands like King Crimson and Pink
That's
Floyd.
right, yeah. You do love that shit.
I
Yes.
actually do like.
You like Chicago?
I do not like Yes. Chicago's considered prog rock?
I don't know.
I do not like Chicago at all, and I hate Yes, so I don't know.
Henry only likes Chicago's 4 through 9. Everything before and after that's bullshit.
They're one of those bands. They just went for numbers.
Oh, all the way into like the 20s.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, quick shout out, R.I.P. Charlie Watts.
Well, yeah, my friend Gallagher texted me about that earlier. I never responded to the text. You're reminding me.
Oh,
Hey, Gallagher, if you're out there listening, I got that text. Bummer about Charlie Watts.
Yeah, man, one of the greats.
Yeah. He's in the Rolling Stones.
No, he is the guy that helped Edison invent the light bulb.
Oh, that's a joke because the name Watts sounds like light bulb.
I mean, where else did the name come from? You
That's
tell
fun.
me.
That's good stuff, Henry. Hey, all right. Watt Stax, maybe? Maybe he was a big Stax Records fan.
Yeah. Could have been.
All right, I still know what you did last summer. Let's talk about it. It comes out a mere 1 year and 1 month. 13-month. We like to say 3 years is the magic number between sequels. This is the 13-monther. And you know what? Slasher movies do get away with this more often. If you go back to the 80s, they were popping... They were
True.
pumping those out one a year. And, Friday the 13th and, what's the other one?
All
Nightmare
of
on Elm Street.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. There was really no wait time.
I guess so. There was between the Halloween and 3 and 4. That was the only wait in that series.
And it was worth it.
Oh, well worth it. They had to let Danielle Harris age enough so that we could enjoy her running around on a roof. All right.
They had to get Mike Myers back. It was very difficult to find him.
Oh, good point. Yeah. He needed some recovery time.
Yeah.
All right.
Wouldn't?
So we have all new creative team. Supposedly they told the actors that what's his face was coming back. The guy from the first one, Jim Gillespie.
Okay.
All right, and that's why Jennifer Love Hewitt agreed to do the movie. Like she really liked. Like apparently, years later, like an interview from like 2010, Jennifer Love Hewitt still saying the best director I ever worked with is Jim Gillespie.
You know, in her case, she's probably not lying.
She hasn't worked with many great directors.
I think that she's telling the truth.
I think it's pretty damning. Like, all those shitty actors, somebody would put them in a movie at some point. Paul Schrader would be like, hey, Lindsay Lohan, be in my movie. Or like, Robert Altman would put someone in, like, Prairie Home Companion or something.
Yeah.
Oh, was that Lindsay Lohan? I'm just thinking of Lindsay Lohan.
I had no idea.
But nobody ever plucked Jennifer Love Hewitt for something like that.
Well, not plucked in that way. But going on.
Okay, going on. Yeah,
No, it was a sexual
I understood
joke.
it. I understood it. You don't see her bad acting through her chesticles.
No. I really think we've covered a hell of a lot worse actresses, man, or actors to be.
I don't think that many.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what she's supposed to do.
Act better. Be natural. Emote.
She does.
She does
A lot
emote.
of screaming. That sun tanning thing, that was scary.
Was it? That was, I remembered that being scary.
It's a fear.
Yeah. Well, I remembered it being scary when it came out, but like nothing really happens.
No, not right.
Like she doesn't get burned or anything.
No.
I was looking at the Teen Choice Awards, of course, in my research, and I saw that scene was nominated for the most disgusting scene of the year, and I was like, it would have been if she got like burned.
Right.
Like in Halloween 2, there's that scene where they're making out in the hot tub, and Michael Myers like turns up the heat on the hot tub, holds that girl underneath it, her skin starts bubbling and falling off. That's gross. This shit's not. They saved her. She got out of there no problem.
You're right. Yeah. Good
All
point.
right. Let's talk about our new people. We've got a new director, Mr. Danny Cannon, still working today. This was kind of the last gasp of his movie career, but he's, a very successful television director and has been working in the DC universe for many years now. All right, so he, of course, got his start with a Harvey Keitel movie I've never heard of called The Young Americans, which honestly sounds great. Maybe I should watch it. Yawning. Then he directs Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. What a film that is.
Never saw it.
Then I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But listen to this TV work.
Okay.
I've got to point something out here. This man directed the pilot episode of CSI. All right? Plus like 25 more episodes. So like that show was insanely influential. First of all, that show in itself had like 5 different iterations that all ran for years and years and years. Then like every procedural drama on network television was hugely influenced by the look of that show. For like years. So like I feel like this Danny Cannon motherfucker like reinvented the look of network television for like a decade.
So he did something pretty fucking big and probably at the time didn't even know it.
Yeah, probably not. It was probably a disappointing gig. Like, fuck, I gotta do this TV show.
A pilot.
Yeah. I was just directing Jennifer Love Hewitt. Now I'm on CBS? What is this?
Yeah. By the way, I not to digress, I'm sure I already know the answer to this question, but you've seen CSI, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it, like, decent? Like,
yeah. The original, yeah. Because it's like William Peterson, and he's awesome. And like Marg Helgenberger's all right. Like there's diminishing returns as it goes on. Like all the spin-offs, like pretty much, I've never seen New York, but like Miami's unwatchable. But that first one, the Vegas show, is good. So much so that like when it ended, I tuned back in, watched like the feature finale or whatever.
So it had like its own sort of look and feel and didn't look just like a generic.
No. If you saw it now, you'd think it looks generic, but it's only because after that show came on, everything started to look like it.
Oh, wow. All right. Interesting. It's one of those shows I've heard a lot of people talk about over the many, many, many years, and I've just never had an interest because I just thought it was kind of broadcast.
It is. Stuff, I mean, you're right, but like for what it is, it's very good.
Sure. Okay.
All right, so now this dude also directed the pilot of Gotham, Henry, and we watched a little bit of that. And Pennyworth. You watching Pennyworth?
I'm not.
What, are you crazy? I thought you were some kind of Batman completist.
No, I think you know that.
I don't know if you knew this, but Pennyworth is the last name of Batman's butler, Alfred.
Is it the character Michael Caine played?
Michael Caine, Michael Go, any old British Michael. you can think of.
Michael Winterbottom.
He played him, yeah.
Okay.
Now, yeah, so you're a fan of that character, right? You remember that? You remember, like, in Batman and Robin when he was like, "Oh, I'm dying, but I'm going to leave you with my niece, Barbara." Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember? I don't remember.
Is that her name?
Whatever. But remember also, they found that, like, computer disk, and they were like, "What's the password?" And it was like, "Let me try Wayne. Let me try money." Or whatever. Remember? And then the answer was, like, Peg, because that was, like, his wife growing up, I guess.
Isn't that nice? I remember Michael Go's great moment. Michael Go's great moment in your favorite Batman movie, Batman Returns, where he takes a CD with a bat emblem on it and scratches it like a disc jockey.
Yeah.
To the Penguin.
Yeah. What is it? He plays like a harp from hell.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's perfect. All right, so that's Danny Cannon. He's directing Pennyworth. Oh, so what I'm saying is that great character has his own show now. You should watch it.
I am watching a show that is I found surprisingly good. I took a chance on, and that is Titans.
Boy. Okay. Sorry, I had to run through my mental Rolodex. There's Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I understand.
I believe Aaron Spelling created a show called Titans in the 90s.
Did he really?
I believe so, but you were referring to that show where Dick Grayson's badass.
Yeah, it's quite good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Especially season 1.
Is it cool?
What?
Is it cool?
Why are you talking like that?
I think it's cool. I think that show looks cool, man.
It is cool.
Yeah, I bet. All right.
Well, I knew you'd ridicule me for it, so...
Of course I would.
I don't really care.
I know you don't. I'm not trying to get you to care.
No, it's a good show. The decision to make Bruce Wayne 85 years old doesn't really work very well, but
why he's Ben Affleck.
Well, that's what they should have probably just done.
Well, isn't that what they're trying to do though? Like it just takes place like 20 years after Dawn of Justice or something.
No, it's I'm supposed to believe that Ian Glenn, that's right, Resident Evil's Ian Glenn, who we all know and love, is an active, working Batman.
Any real actors on that show? Is that a no?
The girl who plays Starfire, yes.
She was what?
Us.
Which one is she in Us? The daughter?
I don't remember. No, she's older. She's like in her 30s.
Oh, all right.
She's great.
Anyway.
I like
I can't watch these DC shows.
I understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand. It kind of was just one of those things I flipped through, and I was just like, oh, let's see what this has to offer. Probably nothing. And then I was a little taken aback. Yeah.
All right, listen, Trey Calloway, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
I've got some important things to say. His first screenplay is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I have no idea how he got this gig. Like, this is the next Kevin Williamson? He had created the show, look, Mercy Point. Now, this was a show that was going to premiere, I think, on UPN, and it was a hot pilot script. Listen to is a very high concept, Henry. Across the Sahartic divide from 23rd century Earth is the Jericho colony and its port of entry / hospital space station, Mercy Point. Staffed by human, alien, and even android medical personnel, Mercy Point provides desperately needed health care for the colony and any ship passing through the area. So that show premiered in the 90s, courtesy of this Trey Calloway. I think that's how he got this I Still Know What You Did Last Summer gig.
So this is a show about a colony trying to provide health care.
That's right. So, like, it had been created...
Is it about us?
Well, we're not in the 23rd century, Henry.
That's a good point.
So he had buzz from the show. He got the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer job. And it didn't pan out, you know. And then he couldn't get anything made for a number of years. And I noticed here on his IMDb page, he's written 18 episodes of CSI New York. I wonder who got him that job.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, but you know what? Isn't that nice? Like, they were friends. Danny Cannon liked working with him. You know, like, oh, my friend who wrote I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is having some hard luck. Could we get him a job on CSI? No, but you could get him a job on CSI New York if you want.
Yeah, sure. It's a nice story.
Yeah, he could write for Gary Sinise. All right, November 13th, 1998 is the release date for this monster. Budget of $24 million. Too high. Box office of $84 million. It's the number 53 movie of 1998. Made slightly less than The Faculty, deservedly, and slightly more than Primary Colors by Anonymous.
Ah, yes. Probably a Friday, I would imagine, if it was released on November 13th, Friday the 13th.
Oh, you're probably right, a Friday the 13th. And that's how they got away with putting it out in November. Because normally I'd give them shit for not putting it out before Halloween. But, what? But it's a Thanksgiving release. I probably saw this on Thanksgiving vacation.
You see it you saw it in theaters?
Oh, yes, I did. Opening weekend.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. So excited for this movie. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I know that you didn't see this movie, and I thought about you a lot while watching it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. I do have some awards news about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, so maybe you should get out your great themes, Henry.
Oh, they're ready to go.
As you reminded me last week, apparently we cover the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards on this show.
Oh, yes, we do. So I guess that'll go first, huh?
I guess so. It still does tickle me, I'll tell you.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Awards, what a difference. All right.
Yeah, well, it's the play on words, you know, with awards.
Instead of wow. What a difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was on the spot.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was nominated for Best Horror Actress, as was Brandy, okay? So they were two of the three nominated actors in that category, along with Jamie Lee Curtis for Halloween H2O 20 years later. What do you think won, Henry?
I'm going to go with J-Lo.
You're right. She did win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a guess. I guess that really was fair game for anyone.
Great stuff. Freddie Prinze Jr. nominated for the Best Supporting Actor in a Horror Movie.
He supported all right.
He did. Yeah. And he also won. Okay?
Ow.
Beating out the likes of LL Cool J for Halloween H2O and Chris Christopherson in Blade.
Oh, there's your winner right there.
Yeah, but it's the Blockbuster crowd, man. Freddie Prinze. We need that Freddie Prinze.
Rented Blade from Blockbuster. You know, hey.
You know, I was thinking about Freddie Prinze.
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, really think about it. Like, he's pretty cool. I gotta say, watching these movies, he's not a good actor. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, he improved and now I think he's good or anything. He's terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible. Like, I think Freddie Prinze Jr. is pretty untalented, but I appreciate that I appreciate how he's used his pathway into Hollywood, you know? He got famous off of his dad, Freddie Prinze, of course. Right. Freddie Prinze Sr. Yes. And, like, he did the thing like everybody does. Like, when he was young and hot, he decided to be like a teen heartthrob. Or so. He made all these movies. But then, like, once he, like, wasn't into it anymore, like, he just, like, gave up acting, right? Like, in 2006, he did this sitcom called Freddie, And
Yeah,
like
you
no,
told me.
yeah, and nobody. All right.
No, I didn't mean that like that.
All right, but you know, it got canceled. Nobody gave a shit. And then like I'm reading about him this week. Do you know that like Freddie Prinze Jr. after that, he was just like really into wrestling. And so like he knew he couldn't be a wrestler. So he went to Vince McMahon and he was like, "Can I be a writer for the WWE?" And Vince McMahon was like, "All right." So like Freddie Prinze Jr. like wrote for the WWE for like a year, and apparently was like pretty instrumental in bringing up some cool people and like speaking on behalf of some of the wrestlers, and yeah, and he did some good work for the women's division. I heard like cool guy, and then like after that, like he's just been married to Sarah Michelle Gellar for all these years. He let his hair go white, which is cool. He's got kids that he's just raising.
Yeah. Okay. You sold me. Sure.
I'm into Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things where I guess he just, you know, realized, and maybe not just, it was like probably a combination of not just realizing that his box office mojo was a little low, but maybe he just didn't give a shit, and there was other things he wanted to do in life. You know, he got famous. He had the clout to like approach Vince McMahon, do something he thought was cool, and did it, and happy with his wife, and
yeah, and he's a big fucking Scooby-Doo fan, so he did those movies, and he's like kept doing the voice and like animated shit.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
And hasn't been associated with any like awful shenanigans or anything like that, which is refreshing.
I don't believe so.
It's pretty nice. It's hard to come by.
It's very hard to come by. So a toast to Freddie Prinze Jr. here on the franchise.
A toast to the Celts.
Yeah, with the Celts, sure. I've got my Celts, just original, simply bubbles this week.
Oh, look at you. I have a Poland Spring that's pretty much melted. It's 93 degrees where I am right now. I'm having a little trouble breathing. That's not a joke. But
well, I hope you make it through.
I hope I do too. If you see my head sort of just collapse on the keyboard, just keep going.
Great. I'll know what's happening. MTV also chose to recognize I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, great. That'll be easy in this heat. I can probably muster up that recording. No extra effort. All right. Oh, what my MTV.
That's great. Brandy nominated for Best Breakthrough Female Performance.
Oh, boy.
What? You didn't like Brandy? I thought she was all right.
Oh, man. You know,
you don't want to be down.
You know, in this movie, it's not so much just the poor script, but it is the delivery of some of the.
Whoa! It seems like we're gonna differ on this excellent film.
Oh, I think we might. Very, very substantially. Actually, I'm a little surprised. I think.
Okay, let's talk about the Teen Choice Awards. Oh, I forgot to say that Brandy lost that award to Katie Holmes for disturbing behavior. Oh. I was also amused that also in the same category was Kate Blanchett for Elizabeth.
Well, you know, can't be ageist.
Yeah. All right. Well, what ageist? Kate Blanchett was like 28 at the time.
No, she wasn't. Well, I don't thought. What was the category?
Best breakthrough performance.
Oh. Was that a breakthrough for Kate Blanchett?
Elizabeth, yes. Nobody knew her before Elizabeth.
I knew her from Oscar and Lucinda.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Nobody saw Oscar and Lucinda. I thought that was a movie about, like, whale friends, but that was Zeus and Roxanne.
The Teen Choice Awards, folks. Here we go.
It's the Teen Choice Award.
All right, let me show you the caliber of the awards show we're covering here. Jennifer Love Hewitt won Best Actress for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
All right. Matthew Settle, who Matthew Settle, who is the one of the main villains in this film. I mean, that's a twist. I'm spoiling the movie right now. He is, of course.
You actually spoiled it in your Letterboxd review, so when I was watching it, I already knew what was going on.
Why don't you shut the fuck up? You'd seen it already.
No, you just said I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, but you had logged it before I wrote that review.
I did not.
Well, whatever. No. Listen, he's Will Benson in the movie. Now, Ben's son. Ben, you might recall, is the villain from the first movie. He's Ben's son. So that's why Teen Choice Awards spoiling the movie by nominating him in the Choice Sleazebag category.
Ooh, yeah, that's a spoiler.
And he actually lost to Sarah Michelle Gellar for Cruel Intentions.
Oh, well. Yeah, sure.
And finally, as I mentioned, the tanning bed thing was nominated for the most disgusting scene.
Oh, it's revolting.
Yeah, and of course it lost to Cum in the Hair. There's Something About Mary. Which is not even that disgusting. Like, if you're going to nominate There's Something About Mary for disgusting scenes, I would go with either the balls getting caught in the zipper or when you see Magda's boobs.
The old woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on both fronts.
They put cum on the hair on the poster. Like, it was in the trailer, so it can't be that disgusting.
Yeah. That was such a big deal at the time. My goodness. Yeah.
Everyone was doing it. We were all styling our hair with cum in the summer of 1998.
No. I don't mean like that. I meant like when I went on dates. That's how I
gotta be honest. I did that for years because of that movie.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant on the date. I flung it.
Flung it out. Yeah, just threw your cum at her. Sure, of course. Right. No, but for many years, like when I started dating, I would masturbate before dates. Just like I didn't want to be like thinking about sex. I even did it once, like I didn't have time like before a date. And I went to a girl's apartment and I did it in her bathroom, like before the date started.
You are something else, man.
Why that? I was just trying to be the best date I could be.
Best date you could be. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, let's start the movie. So, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. You might recall a beautiful cliffhanger at the end of last week. We got Julie James. You know, the killer jumped out at her again. You're like, oh. And that's the end of the movie.
Turns out it was a dream.
Yeah. Well, you know that because this movie starts in a church and she starts telling the priest, like, I've had these dreams. So you're like, oh, I guess that thing at the end of the movie was a dream.
Yeah, it's true. And then that was really predictable, that church sequence. You know, when she goes in there to the father and does the whole Catholic bullshit.
I wasn't sure at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew it would be sitting there.
I mean, I've seen this movie probably 3 times in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's been a long time, and yeah, because like it was the kind of thing like when I was younger, if I rewatched the first one, I'd watch the second one too.
Okay. Sure.
But now it's been a while. I don't really remember it that much. So when this scene started, like the whole franchise is about like kids dealing with their guilt, and so somebody talking to a priest in a confessional didn't strike me as odd.
No. I think I knew it was a dream and all that just because of the moody lighting and the score was not very subtle, so I just figured.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm not exactly looking for the utmost subtlety.
Neither was I, but I just knew right away it was a dream, a coincidence.
Okay, so Jennifer Love Hewitt wakes up in bed, and and she's like, oh. God, it was just a dream. Let me turn over so you can see my cleavage for a second. Then I'm going to get up. God, there is, as much cleavage as there was in the last movie.
There's a lot here.
It is wild.
It's a lot. There's a lot. I also noticed that, I've had many nightmares in my life, as I'm sure Dan has as well. And I'm sure our listenership.
No, I only have good dreams.
Oh, good for you. That's fantastic. Not me. And as many as I've had, I still do wonder about her REM cycle, because whenever Love Hugh wakes up, she's generally screaming.
She is screaming. You know, I forgot that. She doesn't wake up in bed here. She's in fucking class.
Yes. I mean, that's...
And she wakes up. It is a gut-wrenching... Like, it is... She is in the middle of this fucking class. It looks... She's in college, but it is the size of a tiny high school classroom.
Looks like... Yeah,
and she wakes up with just a roar. Ah!
It's huge, and the alarm shown on the students' faces, I think, is a little bit underplayed. I think if, when I was in college, somebody had screamed like that, first of all, security would be called. You'd probably try to isolate that person.
Although, like, I think she did the right thing. Like, once that happens, like, you can't just go, like, go on with your lesson, sir. Like, she got up and she was like, all right, I'm bailing. I'm out of here.
He did anyway. It was, he was just like, oh, moving on to Wordsworth. Yeah.
So back home, we check in with our new... Hey, listen. It's funny. Like, you hear her off... Brandy's off screen at first.
Yeah.
And she starts talking and she's like, hey, Julie, white girl. You know, because that's how black people talk in these movies. And, I thought it was going to be the black roommate from the first movie.
Oh.
But they've replaced her with a more famous black roommate so that she can actually have a part in this movie. I felt bad for the actress. She put in the time in that first movie.
She did. She sure did. I only expected Brandy because, you know, it's Brandy. She's a fine girl, and I figured that this would be her entrance.
Well,
remind me of Brandy's significance at the time.
Oh, well, I mean, it's 1990.
I remember, but, you know.
In 1998, she was still on Moesha. That was a big hit. Then, you know, she had a music career going. She was still doing, like, pretty low-key R&B tracks, like, I Wanna Be Down. And she had that great duet with Monica, of course, The Boy Is Mine. And if you're talking about Omar Epps, I think, she won. The Boy Is Hers.
Okay.
In this movie.
Monica, now it's 1997 or 8. It's just Monica, her duet with Monica Lewinsky.
No. Monica Lewinsky around this time was sucking the president's dick and letting him stick a fucking cigar up her pussy.
Okay, so what you're saying, she wasn't recording with Brandy?
No, she was in the Oval Office with a lit cigar in her pussy, while Brandy was off in Mexico pretending to be in the Bahamas.
Boy, what a year!
Yeah, what a year! All right, so Brandy is hanging out with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jennifer Love Hewitt's catching us up on everything that's going on. They are in the dorm room. Hey, how about this? In this scene, Sarah Michelle Gellar picks up a nice little photograph of an old friend.
Wait, Sarah Michelle Gellar picks
I meant Jennifer Love Hewitt picks up an old photograph of our friend, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, are you trying to tell me that we saw what is commonly referred to on the show as a photobomb?
That's right, of Helen as the Croaker Queen.
Wow, I totally forgot about that. Isn't that something? Isn't that?
Hurry up!
Isn't that so? Oh, there we go, folks. Remember this one?
It's a photo bomb, cause we couldn't get the actors, cause we couldn't afford them, so get on the photo bomb.
Yep, Michelle Gellar, she did it. SMG. All right.
Yeah.
Now, it's time to go out to the club, I think.
Yes. yeah. She tells Love to, you know, let's get you out of this stuffy apartment.
Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt's in summer school. Julie James apparently not doing great at college, all right? Maybe partying too much this year now that the guilt has subsided. Just partying her ass off with Brandy. So
Your tenor went like from your normal voice into like Valley Girl. You're like probably partying too much with her girl Brandy.
Yeah. Brandy.
I don't think she's doing any partying. I mean,
I think she's partying too much. She's not going to class. She's falling asleep. She's waking up screaming. All right. Oh. Meanwhile, she's trying to do a long distance relationship with Ray, Freddie Prinze Jr., who has turned into such a fucking drip.
Yeah, really. I mean, they did go through something rather difficult the prior summer.
Yeah, but that's why Julie's trying to have fun here. Ray's like, yo, come back to our old fishing village where I'm going to work on a boat over the summer and you can, like, watch me, I guess.
Very true.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt's like, bro, I've got school, all right? And then, once they win the trip to the Bahamas, which we'll get to in a second, she's like, well, how about going to the Bahamas? And he's like, what? So you couldn't hang out in our old fishing village, but now you can go in the Bahamas? And Jennifer Love Hewitt's like, well, yeah, the difference is one's a fishing village that we grew up in, and the other's the Bahamas for free.
Yeah, that scene really irritated me, and also just I couldn't. That's one of the examples in the movie where I couldn't divorce myself from the fact of how when the first movie wrote scenes like that, they were a little more palatable and believable, whereas this one, where the reactions and responses from the characters made no fucking sense to me, and the fact that Ray has no fucking concept of why she would ever want to go back there for the rest of her life is incomprehensible, and what a shitty boyfriend. Why he's there, I have no idea, because I know he has a fucking fishing boat, but there are fishing boats everywhere. Makes not a lot of sense, yeah, he is a drip.
He's awful. You get rid of this. The whole movie, she's hanging out with this guy Will Ben's son, and I'm like, fuck this guy. This guy seems. I still think at the end of the movie, I prefer him to Ray, even after he's like murdered people.
He's got a little more spark.
He definitely does. More charisma. You know. Let's talk about him, but Matthew Settle, huh?
Oh, that's him.
Huh? You know this actor?
Nope.
Oh, baby. Then you
what
clearly...
tragic end did he meet?
He, of course, is Rufus Humphrey, Dan's dad on Gossip Girl. All right. Great character, Henry. His character, Rufus, was in... one-hit wonder band in the 90s called Lincoln Hawk. Do you recognize the name of that band? The fake band, Lincoln Hawk? Of course, Sylvester Stallone's character name from Over the Top.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
And he's... So in that show, he's just bashing away on that guitar, one-hit wondering it up. He's fucking Kelly Rutherford from Melrose Place. He's, raising Dan Humphrey and his daughter Jenny, okay?
Okay.
Right. And they're living in Dumbo, and he makes pancakes a lot.
Let's clarify for our non-New York listeners what Dumbo is.
What does it actually stand for? Down Under Manhattan Bridge Underpass or something? I don't know.
It's downtown Brooklyn is all it is.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive area of Brooklyn. Probably one of the most expensive areas of Brooklyn, yes.
It's up there. I went out with a girl who was out of my league once, and she told me to meet her in Dumbo, and I was like, oh, of course.
I went to a Christmas party in Dumbo once. It was quite phenomenal. It was an apartment that no 20-something should own, but they did.
Well, I mean, their parents did. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very nice.
All right. So they've got to get Julie out of the dump. She's bummed out about this drip Ray, and, she's got to go to summer school. So Brandy says, let's go out to my favorite club with my boyfriend Omar Epps. All right?
Yeah, but okay. It's not Omar Epps, but right.
I am so sorry. It's Mekhi Phifer. I just watched Juice, the movie Juice, directly before this podcast, and so I have Omar Epps on the brain.
Now, when you said that before, I thought you were referring to Brandy's real-life love life, so I didn't correct you. I didn't know you meant that.
No, of course, it's Mekhi Phifer. And anytime you see Mekhi Phifer in a movie, you know that you're not watching Eminem's life, because as we know, in Eminem's lifer, there's no Mekhi Phifer.
You have to explain that.
That's a line from Lose Yourself.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why? What is he? Is that a diss on him? Or
No,
something?
not at all. He's just trying to say that, like, 8 Mile is one thing, but he comes from the streets, and in his real lifer, there's no Mekhi Phifer.
Okay. Got it.
Because Mekhi Phifer's in 8 Mile.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah, Mekhi Phifer's. I mean, this is tough for me. This movie, in a lot of ways.
Why? This is such a delightful film.
Oh wow, I just disagree. Yeah, I thought it was a tremendous drop in every way.
It is.
Okay, but it's and we'll get to I Always Did, where we enter different shit territory. But this is just a really, really by the numbers but below par horror movie where just nothing works. All the acting is terrible, and Mekhi Phifer is really fucking bad.
I disagree. I think he's playing this role like he's Othello.
Wow.
In the film O by Tim Blake Nelson.
You thought of a black Shakespearean character and you went with it. I get it.
No, I thought that Mekhi Phifer played the character of Othello in a very popular movie.
I actually don't know if he did or not. I didn't think he did.
Oh, you remember the movie O?
Of course, with Julia Stiles, but I don't think... Is that Mekhi Phifer?
Yes.
Are you sure?
He's O. He's the titular O.
First said it, I thought you meant Othello with Lawrence Fishburne in the title role.
No.
So I was very confused. Okay, all right. Yeah. Anyway, I think he's terrible in this, but
O's a great movie, man. Josh Hartnett as Iago. Yes, please.
All right. Mr. Hart. Yeah. Yeah, he's just pretty insufferable. I just didn't I just didn't care for any of the cast.
But the cast is the best part to me. Okay. We need to just talk about it. We need to just talk about it.
Okay, sure.
So this movie, I love a summer movie. A movie with a summer vibe. And this movie takes the next one to the next level, all right? We're going 4th of July weekend. Great stuff in that first one. But now we're in the Bahamas at a resort. Oh, yeah. It's like fucking Club Paradise, bro. It's,
Just watch Club Paradise.
I just watched that too. Or Private Resort. Or, you know what I'm talking about.
I got
Club Med.
Club Med.
So that's great. And then what we've done is we've filled out the cast beyond Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze with some incredible actors.
You got Jennifer Esposito.
All right, yeah. Well, let's go through the cast. You got her. Jennifer Esposito, who apparently in the script, her character was described as a Jennifer Esposito type, and they just got Jennifer Esposito.
Good for her that she's wanted so badly that they just describe her that way. Yeah.
I guess she was on Spin City at the time. I guess people were paying attention.
Fine. Yeah.
All right. Now, can I go through the rest of the amazing cast?
Please.
How about the great Bill Cobbs as a voodoo master?
He's very good. I mean, he's wasted, unfortunately, but he's a great actor. I was actually looking. He's the only actor here I've had any interest in looking back at his filmography, which spans like 50 years.
Okay. How about the guy who runs the joint and checks them in at the front desk with those bad dentures?
He's correctly creepy.
That is the great Jeffrey Combs, the lead in Reanimator. All right?
Okay.
One of the great horror actors ever. Did good work in a recent film that you recommended me, Henry. Would You Rather?
Oh, yes. That's a fun little nasty movie.
He's like the main dude in that.
Okay. Well, he looks very different. Okay.
Well, just because he's wearing those bad dentures.
Older. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, he was good in this.
All right.
I'm not arguing on the supporting cast. They're fine.
And then you're filling out the rest of the cast. You're just running into people, all right? John Hawkes working on a boat with Freddie Prinze Jr. Jack Black as a weird Rasta guy, or who I think, by the way, he's uncredited in the movie.
Yeah,
and
I see that.
I think it's because he knew he had High Fidelity coming out. And he thought he knew that was his breakthrough role, and he did not want to be associated with this movie.
You think he would? But yeah, he could have been already. I mean, would they even have been filming that already? Yeah,
1998. It was probably out already, right? Didn't it come out in 98?
2000, bro.
Oh, 2000. All right. So still, I think it must have been filming. I think he must have had that
you're probably
going.
right, because I did see it in theaters I remember very specifically like January or February 2000. So it was probably in production. Yeah. Okay, that's very, very interesting. Okay.
And then also, Freddie Prinze Jr. buys a gun from the great Mark Boone Jr. in a pawn shop.
That was great. Yeah,
all right?
I don't know how they got all these people.
Because it's an incredible movie. All they had to do is read the script. They got up to the part with the twist where it's Benson, Ben's son, and they were like, yeah, I got to do it.
All right, wait a second. Now, you said a few moments ago that in agreeance with what I said.
Agreeance?
Yes. It's a court. I'd like a continuance on my sentence here. That
I'd like to object.
Yeah. I'll sustain the argument that you said you agreed with me that this was a sharp, huge drop in quality. Now, having said that, we both gave the first movie 3 stars.
Right.
So, am I to understand that you are going to give this movie a 2-star rating, but still really, really kind of like it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're still not on the same page, but we are. So you are going to go to bat for the 2-star movie. I get it.
Yeah, it's a 2-star movie. Of course it is. It's really stupid. Like, the fact of the matter is, it's like a pretty generic slasher movie, but I sort of love that. It's just, I Know What You Did Last Summer goes to the Bahamas, or I Know What You Did Last Summer Tropical Edition.
I just thought that the dialogue was really bothersome to me. I thought it was a noticeable difference.
Well, of course it is, because Kevin Williamson has a dialogue style, so like everyone kind of talks like him in the first movie.
It just made me appreciate him probably more than I ever did. And his absence is just so marked that I really just thought it sunk this fucking movie into basically just a piece of shit.
But I still think it's twisty and turny, and the kills are fun, and I like the vibe. The soundtrack's pretty good, including a great song by Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, I do recall it.
This film launched the Jennifer Love Hewitt music career, baby. How do I deal, Henry? How do I deal with how good this song is?
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, let's get to the chorus. Oh! Oh, Henry, you can't tell me that's not a jam.
I think somebody was listening to a lot of Gwen Stefani at the time.
Doesn't sound like Gwen Stefani at all.
She does. Her voice.
Oh, maybe well, she can't really sing. You know, I couldn't fucking believe it when they...
Karaoke wasn't bad.
It was bad. It was bad, Henry.
I've seen worse.
Can we talk about that karaoke scene, though? Because it is insane. All right? Oh, God, should we set it up? Like,
well, I mean, they're bored in the hotel, so they go to the bar.
But we didn't even say how they got there. They win this fucking radio contest. We have to talk about that. They're listening to, or they don't. They're not even listening to the radio. Brandy gets a phone call answers the phone. There's a voice on the other line like, "Hey, it's Mark in the morning," or something.
Right.
And can you answer one question for a free trip to the Bahamas? You know, that kind of thing. And the question is, what is the capital of Brazil? Which, first of all, we later find out that this is all a scam from Ben Willis, the killer, and his son. And they should ask an easier question.
Oh, well, I mean, that's pretty fucking easy. They're college kids, for fuck's
I wouldn't
sake.
have known that shit.
Well, I knew it was wrong. I will tell you that. So when she said it, I was like, I don't think that's correct.
She answers Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, and I thought in my head Sao Paulo. Now, I was wrong, too. That is the largest city. But then, what's the voodoo guy's actor's name?
Bill Cobbs.
Bill Cobbs says the answer once later in the movie, and I had no idea that it was
Brasilia.
Yeah, I did not have any clue of that. So they give a reasonable answer, but
I liked franchise listener Maddie Rags piped in on the Discord while watching this movie saying, like, I think they just made like a really stupid error in this movie, but if it turns out to be a plot thing, I'll give it all the credit in the world.
That's great.
And he did.
Yeah, that's great.
So they give him the wrong answer, Rio, but they say it's right. And that's I like that moment, actually, because it's like, if you're in the audience and you know that it's a wrong answer, then you're wondering what the fuck's going on. It's a clue.
Well,
but if you don't know what the fuck
because
is going on, then it's still like a compelling thing.
Sure, yeah, and I was in the middle because I knew it wasn't correct, but I did not know what the right answer was, and I didn't bother to look it up. So I was like, something's off here.
It didn't sound right to me, but I also didn't trust I Still Know What You Did Last Summer to have correct shit.
Right. I just couldn't, my movie brain could never jump to the conclusion that a movie this big would make an error like that. So I was just like, this has to be intentional. But
all right, so they end up in the Bahamas during like hurricane season, and it's Freddie Prinze Jr. is coming later to surprise Julie and propose marriage, by the way. And meanwhile, Julie is going to go with Brandy Mackay Pfeiffer and Matthew Settle, Rufus from Gossip Girl. Will Ben's son.
Yes. And another great moment.
It is ludicrous. I love it.
Where John Hawkes says to Freddie Prinze when he hangs up and he hears him like refusing to go, he's like, "What's wrong with you, bro? Just call, you got to go." And and Freddie Prinze, the only thing he does.
It's so contrived. Go ahead.
Yeah, he goes, "You're right. Let me call her right back and I'll tell her I'm going." And John Hawkes is like, No, bro. Surprise her. And he's like, "That's a better idea."
And then, by the way, the next thing we see, Freddie Prinze Jr. is on the road with John Hawkes. Like, John Hawkes finagled away, like, I guess I'll take this guy. How many fucking rooms do they have at this Bahamian resort?
I'm thinking that John Hawkes, it was his car.
Oh, you're right. He says something like he's going to just go to Florida, and then he knows some people down there.
Okay. I remember that, yeah. So he gets his car back.
Yeah, so they're in the car driving, singing "Here I Go Again on My Own" by Whitesnake. And then they come across a fisherman in the middle of the road. Is he dead? Freddie Prinze Jr. is like, "Oh, fuck, I got to check this shit out." And I'm like, Freddie, haven't you learned your lesson? Like, just keep driving. Just keep driving. So he stops. It's a mannequin, so he knows something's wrong.
Very poor cinematography, because when they flip over that thing, I was like squinting, like, is that a human that we just can't identify or a mannequin? I had no idea.
I'm able to follow Danny Cannon's great storytelling, so I knew what was happening in that moment.
Good for you.
So they... so he ends up in the fucking hospital, right? And when he wakes up, he's like a man possessed. He's like fucking Mickey Rourke and Johnny Handsome or something. He's just, I need a gun, and I need to get out there and do it.
Wait a second. Pump the brakes. You've seen Johnny Handsome now?
Yeah, keep up with my fucking letterbox, bro.
I check it. I'm pretty good. What'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. It's great.
It's fucking great.
Let's see what I gave it. I don't remember.
I love that movie. Always have.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm searching it on Spotify. That's not the right venue.
Yeah. I always told you that was a wild movie.
I always knew I'd like it. I don't know why. Mickey Rourke, I just like when I was a kid growing up, like he was like a loser. Like you weren't supposed to like that guy.
Right. And when I was growing up, he was fucking cool. And that was one of my worst omissions from my 50 best actors list because I love Mickey Rourke and he should have been on there. I just forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4 stars, Henry.
All right. He liked it.
I did.
All right.
Walter Hill. I'm seeing a lot of his work lately. All right. Let's where was I?
John Hawkes gets hooked in the jaw.
Oh, so right. So Freddie Prinze Jr. is a man possessed. Right. Yeah. He needs a gun from Mark Boone Jr. and he's going to like get there no matter what. He even holds a gun up to like the boat guy. The guy who like got him there earlier.
Should be mentioned, he's in an outskirt of Massachusetts, and he needs to get to the Bahamas very quickly.
So he drives down to Florida.
Now, not a geography major, but he does not fly. He makes it down very quickly.
Well, I mean, you could probably do that in under a day.
Plus, via car, via boat. Very efficient traveler.
He had a gun, and he didn't have a license for it, Henry. Because remember, he said to Boone Jr., "I need it now.
Yeah,
I'm not waiting period. Fill her up."
Yeah, as if you'd go into a pawn shop and the guy behind the counter like, I'm sorry, there's a waiting list here. I can't let you have that.
But it was this weird film noir scene where Mark Boone Jr. was like, "You sure you want to do this, son? You sure this is the route you want to go down?"
Yeah. Very, very funny.
I love that. So meanwhile, they're doing karaoke. Let's talk about that scene. All right. So first of all, Jennifer Esposito is the bartender during this scene. They're asking her like, "What can we do for fun around here?" She points to a karaoke machine. They get on there. Brandy grabs the microphone. Brandy, a very popular professional singer whose music I love. She gets up there with a microphone and is like, "Jennifer Love Hewitt, get up here. You're singing. I am not singing. I will never sing a word. Jennifer Love Hewitt, now you, my friend, are a fucking singer." So she gets up there, pretends to be embarrassed about it, even though she cannot fucking wait to sing.
Yeah.
And
with Donna Summer.
Yeah, they do "I Will Survive." First of all,
subtle.
It occurred to me that that's a funny song to put in a horror movie, but if you're going to put it in a horror movie, you should have someone get killed while singing it.
That's next level. That's next level. Smart meta. I'd like that.
That would be great.
A lot to ask for here. Yeah.
All right, so Jennifer Love Hewitt is singing "I Will Survive" incredibly poorly. Horrible. Just like she cannot hit the notes. She's straining her voice. I hear just so much strain in that voice.
All right. Gwyneth Paltrow in duets or
her.
J-Lo? Really?
Yeah.
Boy.
I would watch Paltrow duet with fucking Huey Lewis 10 times out of 10.
I didn't bring up that part because that's obviously amazing.
Yeah. But, Huey Lewis is awesome in that movie. That movie is honestly worth watching for Huey Lewis.
I've seen it. Yeah, he's great.
All right. So she's singing fucking Donna Summer. They're cutting to Brandy in the audience, like, and every time they cut to her, Brandy's like, "Did I tell you? My friend Julie's the greatest singer on the planet." And then they cut to Jennifer Esposito. Did you catch this? In a little meta moment.
What's her? Yeah.
She basically says to the camera, Everybody's a singer now.
Yes, right. That's very funny. That's absolutely right. I wonder if that was like a little. Was that the director kind of making fun of Jennifer Love Hewitt, or?
I think it was Jennifer Love Hewitt. Well, I mean, I don't think it was Jennifer Love Hewitt's idea because I don't think she really has ideas. But
No.
I just think that they were aggressively trying to seem like Jennifer Love Hewitt was shy about singing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Everybody's just
When actually the movie, it must have been in her contract. Like, I'll come back for this sequel if I sing.
You think so?
Yes.
Boy. Mm-hmm. Wow, that puts
I want a song on the soundtrack, and I want to sing once in the movie.
Whole new sheen on my viewing of that sequence. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
All right. So meanwhile, during this night, everyone's getting murdered, right? We see lots of people getting murdered, mostly black people. It's honestly a much more diverse movie than most slasher movies, except we kill all the black people instantly.
I thought that whole trope was already like outed and discarded.
Horrible. It's like 3 in a row. Like
I was stunned.
There's the dude by the dock. Yeah, there's like a cook that gets it.
Maid, the dock hand.
Yeah, that's right. And he puts them all in an abattoir, as they do in movies like this.
I thought that was like a joke. Maybe I'm just misremembering the timeline of cinematic events, but I always just thought that was already a joke in movies. Like maybe it hadn't been one yet.
No, it absolutely was, because there's jokes. I mean, Scream 2 came out before this movie, and the whole opening of Scream 2 is a joke on that.
Right.
That movie has Omar Epps in it. I've got news for you.
So boy, that was amazing to me. I mean, I was really surprised when I was watching that. I was like, are we really doing this? Like, holy shit.
Crazy. So they all die. Jack Black gets killed. Can we talk about Jack Black a little bit? Come on, he's the MVP.
Of course he is. He's my MVP.
He's so funny in this.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even barely allowed to do anything.
He is too. I feel like he's in it more than he needs to be. Like, they keep throwing him in random scenes. What about that fucking scene where Brandy and Mekhi Phifer were in the jacuzzi together, and then all of a sudden Jack Black swims up for no reason?
Yeah. I mean, he's in several sequences, but I just mean they give him a dumb wig and they have him smoke weed and then just be Jack Black, and it's enough.
And he's clearly ad-libbing ridiculous lines all over the place. My favorite one, which I wrote down, they're looking for, or they're not looking for weed. He's just trying to sell them weed. And he's listing some of the great, strains of weed that he has available. And he says, I've got some bat guano, I've got the cream jeans, and just the term cream jeans.
That has to be him.
Is so fucking Tenacious D. Like, honestly, this character reminded me of the type of character he was doing on, like, Mr. Show and Tenacious D around this time.
You're right. I actually thought I thought both names were just him just fucking riffing. So
it must have been. He is doing a little bit of a black guy accent at first, but it comes and goes. I noticed that at times he's trying to do sort of like a hip hop white guy thing. At times he's doing like a Rastaman accent.
That's just what I thought he was doing.
But it keeps coming in and out. And then sometimes he's just talking like Jack Black.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I every time he was on screen, I guess I just had sort of a waterfall of relief run over.
It is nice, right?
Yeah, I wasn't really listening that carefully to his dialect. Yeah.
What a pleasure. Yeah, when you're watching a scene between like Brandy and Matthew Settle to like then get Jack Black in the mix, it's really nice.
And Mekhi Phifer's pretty much whole role is just continuously trying to get laid with his own girlfriend.
But I like that. He is an incredibly horny slasher movie character, and I love horny slasher movie characters. And the best part of it is his horniness starts to manifest itself in anger as the movie goes on. Like, the longer he goes without having sex, the more he starts, like, yelling at Julie. Like, Julie, you're a fucking delusional weirdo. Why don't you shut the fuck up, go in the other room, and please just let me fuck my girlfriend?
Yeah, well, it gets understandable, I mean, because then it's Jack Black interrupting him. Then it's Will in the sun.
I couldn't believe it when Matthew Settle showed up in that hot tub.
Just settling in.
Good one. Yeah, but, you know, I love Mekhi Phifer. I think he's good in this. And I was sad when he died because they should have let him have sex.
The only reason I was a little sad when he died was because I was like, please let the black guy make it out of here. Give me a Deep Blue Sea.
Well, the black guy does not make. Oh, you're talking about LL Cool J.
Yeah, he makes it in that.
You're right. I was thinking of Samuel L.
No. Please let, and he didn't. And I was like, oh, all right, so the two whiteys will make it again.
Well, Bill Cobb survives, doesn't he?
No. He's the only character killed by Mr. Settle.
Oh, you're right. But is he killed? Like, he hits him over the head with, like, an oar.
Oh, he guts him with a knife.
Oh, I don't remember that. All right, yeah.
Bill Cobb hits Will over the head with an oar.
Oh, that's right. That's like a red herring. We're supposed to think he's the bad guy for a second. You're right.
Okay.
All right, so Bill Cobbs is the porter. We've only seen him like 2 times before, and it's mostly, every so often they show characters standing around sort of weirdly in the background of scenes, so you think they're maybe in on it.
Yeah.
And they did that a couple of times with Bill Cobbs, but then they think he might be the killer because he's the only one who hasn't been murdered yet, so they sneak into his bedroom. Why would they think he's the killer if he's the only guy who hasn't been murdered? I would just think he's the last guy who hasn't been murdered yet.
They think a lot of stupid fucking things.
Like, they are not the murderers either, and they have not been murdered.
Correct. I mean, they think a lot of dumb things in this movie, and I mean, something that's amplified in the third one, but this is then lazily explained. So many times in this movie, as horror movies are wont to do to you, but since their villain isn't that great, so many times I'm looking at it and I'm like, you got Mekhi Phifer. At one point you have 2 women, because Will doesn't count, because we know what he ends up being. It's like, the guy's just walking around with a fucking hook. You know? Fucking rush him. Trip him.
That
Hit
wouldn't
him
work.
over the head.
Wouldn't work with this guy.
Fuck are you doing? I mean,
But he's got his son helping out, running interference.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he is running interference.
So they find out Bill Cobbs is a voodoo master, and they are concerned by that. They think he's trying to kill them, but that just seems to be incidental. Like ultimately he's like, yes, I'm into voodoo.
I'm black. I'm in the Bahamas.
but that's just part of who I am. Like, I'm not trying to kill anybody.
Yeah.
So he reveals that he knows who Ben Willis is.
Correct.
The killer from the first movie. He says that Ben Willis used to work here at the resort. I couldn't believe this shit. It's so convoluted. Like, on top of all this shit from the first movie. All right.
Yeah.
So he used to work at this resort. He had a son and a daughter and a wife.
Correct.
And one day the wife went missing, and there were rumors that the wife was cheating on him. And so that implies that he killed her and then, like, moved to this fishing village. All right. They say he had a son and a daughter. That's the first we're hearing of a son, of course. We know that the daughter was killed in that car accident with Billy Blue or Ben Egan or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Anyway, then where was I?
Oh, nothing. He explains who he is and where he was, and that's why they don't want them there. Everyone makes those eerie things about staying in room 201 and 202 or some shit, because those are the rooms where they lived and killed
Right.
people. And so then they're like, "Oh my God, it's him! Holy shit!" And then there's a little showdown, and they're running around everywhere, and then you get Will in a little heel turn moment where he purports to be injured, but he says, "It's not my blood."
Oh,
She
yeah.
goes,
She's like, "I can't find the cut. It's not my blood." Yeah, and go ahead. What does he say about his name?
Well, he says a lot, because he doesn't just say it at the cemetery. He says it in front of her. All I remember is the cemetery part. What does he say right there when she's treating his non-wound?
Well, nothing. That's when she
It's
pretty
cemetery.
much reveals it, and he says, "I thought you would have gotten it earlier. Like, my name is Will Benson. Benson. I've said this 100 times on the show, but I just can't get enough of this plot twist.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. He spells it out for the audience. What an
Yeah.
odd thing too, because like you don't even need that. Could be Will Johnson. The last name has nothing to do with anything.
Well,
like
what this movie has now taught me is I am going to be skeptical of anybody with son in their last name. I am going to assume that you're lying to me,
right.
and that you're just implying that you're the son of something.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gunderson.
If you ever meet like Jimmy Hitlerson, don't trust him.
It's an extremely common name too.
Yeah.
People don't know that overseas. It's a big name over here.
If you're like in college and you meet like a perfectly normal looking person, he's like, "Hey, my name is Rob Bin Ladenson."
Right.
You'd be like, I'm not saying assume he's Osama Bin Laden's son. I'm just saying question it.
Yeah.
Question and query.
Luke Gehring, son.
Gehring?
You remember that Nazi? Really bad.
Oh, no, I forgot.
Jack Goebbelson.
Sure.
That's an interesting last name. Never mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. John Mark David Chapmanson.
The full three names.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah. Old Henry, son of Samson.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm here for my job interview. I'm Henry, son of Samson. Yeah. What's that? No, I can say it again. Sure, son of Samson. Yeah. No problem. Swedish, touch of Cree.
Cree?
Yeah.
Fucking Marvel reference.
No, Native American.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
tribe. Cree.
I didn't know. All right, what happens? That's it, right? The fucking fisherman shows up. They fight him. Julie's like, "Fuck off! Leave me alone."
Yeah, I don't blame her at that point.
Yeah.
She's just enough. Enough is enough. You know,
Prince shows up with the gun.
Yeah. She shoots the fisherman at least 10 times in what I believe would probably be a gun that holds only 6 bullets. But
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff in these shitty movies. And then, so he falls into a grave, seemingly dead. As it turns out, as I think we know in the third one, he actually is dead.
Wait, but Henry, you forgot about the part where he lunges at Julie with his hook and accidentally kills Will Benson.
Yeah, he kills his own son.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
like, "My son!" And
My son, what have ye done?
And Will Benson's like, "Dad!" And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the son really must have had a shit life. You know, he grows up.
Well, I think it sounds like a really good life. So you explain yourself, and then I'll correct you.
All right, so he grows up. We don't know how old he is when dad cheats on mom. He's living the
Mom
life.
cheated on dad, first of all.
Sorry, correct. Sorry.
Ben Willis, as far as we know, was a faithful fisherman husband.
Crime of passion. We'll give him the real benefit of the doubt. He
That's
walks
right.
in, and she's like fucking the then male barmaid or something, at the time of the hotel.
Maybe it's Bill Cobbs.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the kid is being raised in the Bahamas, living the life. Then he grows up.
Okay, so let's stop right there.
Wait, I'm not.
I'm just saying, until at least a certain age, he was raised at a vacation resort in the Bahamas.
True. We don't know what kind of parenting he got from dad.
I don't think it matters.
I think it might be important. They might have told his son, look, women are they're going to cheat on you no matter what, but your mother's a good one. And then that whole thing happens. He grows up hating women. He moves he uproots the family, but seemingly not the son anywhere near the daughter because no one seems to know.
No, I would think that the son and the daughter were living together, right?
I mean, I would think, but the movie's logic would suggest that no one was aware of this child. So he prepares for being a killer. And here's where I wrap up real fast. The poor guy doesn't even get to kill more than but one person all that time.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, he was protected. He shouldn't have had the hubris to admit that he was Will Ben's son. If he had just the whole time just acted like he was just some random dude, he probably could have gotten away with this whole scheme.
Well, that's true. That's true. But
he would have ended up with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
He had loyalty.
If he didn't die, tell me this: if Will Ben's son never admitted that he was in fact Will Ben's son, okay, and he was alive, and we are now in a situation where the fisherman is in that grave, okay, Freddie Prinze Jr. shows up with the gun, but Will Benson still around. So my question is, does Jennifer Love Hewitt say yes to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s marriage proposal, or is she fucking this Will Benson?
That's a good point.
She wasn't not into him. Remember when he when he brought flowers to the hotel room, and of course she freaked out and screamed because that's what she does.
Right.
But he picked one up, gave it to her, and it was a nice gesture. And when he left, Jennifer Love Hewitt was like, damn, I'm dumb. Like, that was a cool thing he did.
Right. No, you're not wrong. He was a charmer.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, could have gone either way. Loyalty to dad took over possible happy romantic life with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I love Matthew Settle. I think he's sort of like a poor man's John Stamos.
Wow.
He's a little young for that in this movie, but like he's aged into that.
Okay. Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing these days.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. What do you think of this movie? What do you give it? A 1?
I really do. I think it's really bad. It's really fucking bad, man. It's really bad, and I didn't think I would. I thought I'd give it like a 2 or a 3, but it's just so grating. I think it gets everything wrong. It's most
stuff's
decline.
Right.
What?
Most stuff's right.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
It's a 2, but I do think it's fun. Like, it's if you think of it more as like an epilogue to the first one rather than a direct sequel, I think it's more fun.
It's just got everything. I don't know, man. I thought about it afterwards. We recorded last week, and after watching the first one, the writing and Ryan Philippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar, they really bring a lot to that movie, and their absence and leaving these two dolts in their place and then putting in 2 other
I don't think that's the difference here. I think Brandy and Mekhi Phifer both...
You didn't mind them, yeah.
I think they both bring something to the movie. I think they're a net positive.
Yeah, and they could have been, were it written better, if the characters had better dialogue and it wasn't... I just found the whole movie grating, just sort of... I predicted everything, which is very unusual for me. I don't give a fuck about that or pay attention to that ever. But every single beat was just so by the numbers. There was like nothing in there. And I can't say that about the first one.
I just remembered another thing about Brandy. You remember her brother Ray J? He was the one who had the sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Remember that at all?
Just letting you know.
Who hasn't she had a sex tape with?
Everyone except Ray J.
Me? You?
Yeah, literally everyone in the world except Ray J, the one person she's had a sex tape with. What kind of a fucking question is that?
I thought she had a lot of sex tapes. I
No, just
know.
the one, man.
Oh, just one? Only
Yeah.
one sex tape, huh?
It was the one that broke her, and then she,
I didn't know that.
she's married to Kanye. He's not
I'm
filming
so
them.
sorry to impugn my moral values on Kim Kardashian. I really thought that.
How dare you? All right. Anyway, MVP Jack Black.
Correct.
Who's your LVP?
Mekhi Phifer.
Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah, I'd pick the writer if we break rules. You did that a lot for Mad Max.
How do you feel about Mekhi Phifer and other stuff?
You'd have to name me some stuff. I don't really know. How
I
many
mean,
times-
8 Mile.
Oh yeah, sure.
You ever
Sure,
see him
sure.
on ER?
No.
All right. You ever see Honey with Jessica Alba? Oh, here's something you would know. He was great on Curb. He played the Muslim private investigator on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's not
Remember that?
against him. It's just annoying in this movie, but he's not. I really had to just kind of draw straws. I mean, he's not really that much more annoying to me than a lot of the other characters. But
Hey, he played the boy in the Boy Is Mine video. What a discovery.
is that a plus?
Oh, definitely. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Hey, he's also in Clockers.
Oh, I haven't seen that for ages.
Yeah. And the video for Don't Let Go by En Vogue, one of my favorite songs.
All right. I like In Vogue.
All right. Jesus.
You're listing off a long resume. I just didn't know.
It's a great resume.
All right. I got nothing against the guy. I just didn't care for him in this.
Hey, we didn't mention that they got Muse Watson back for this movie.
They did get the Muse. The Muse spoke, although they didn't listen. Yeah.
I was so happy to see him again.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. I don't think that I would have believed it was the same Ben Willis
No,
if it wasn't
not.
Muse Watson.
no, you missed Muse. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll always know what you did last summer. Now, I had never seen this.
Wait a second. Who's your LVP?
Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay. Wow. All right.
All right. I'll always know what you did last summer. This came out straight to video. I skipped it. I wasn't seeing these straight to videos at the time.
A little surprised.
I know, me too. I always felt like I should see it. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it
you
always
were twenty-
annoyed me that I hadn't.
Yeah.
And now I have, and I'll never watch
Ought
it
to be.
again.
Okay.
Here it is. It came out, oh boy, August 22nd, 2006. And by a new director, Sylvain White. You
Yeah,
familiar
that's
with
a-
this guy?
No.
Contrary to his name, he's a black guy. All right. Prior to this movie, he'd only really done looks like sort of erotic shit on cable.
French. He's a Frenchman.
Oh, is he? Well, Sylvain, yeah. So he does this movie, follows it up with Stomp the Yard, a big dance movie. Then The Losers. That was kind of a big movie. So he had a couple of shots after this.
I am seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a lot of TV.
Well,
to this-
I think The Losers didn't do well, and after that, he retreated to television. Since then, he's only made one movie, the Slender Man movie, which
Yeah, I
is
saw that.
horrible.
It's unwatchably bad.
Except,
yeah.
well, I mean, it is watchable because that's Joey King in it.
Sorry. But
favorite.
hey, look, he's an employed TV director.
Yeah, directed some episodes of The Rookie as recently as 2021.
Fargo, The Americans.
Yeah.
You know.
Station 19.
I don't know.
It's the Grey's Anatomy firefighter spinoff, bro.
Oh, that must be great. All right.
Excellent stuff. He directed a Chris Brown video.
Scratch that one.
Yeah. We've got a new writer as well, a fellow named Michael D. Weiss, and he's one of these fellas who is like an expert in straight-to-video shit. Not only has he written I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, but he wrote The Butterfly Effect 2, Hostel 3, The Scorpion King 4, and Jarhead 3.
So he gets the second or third installment direct-to-video of a very big movie.
Yeah.
Or at least a theatrically released movie.
Yeah. His only theatrically released movie, it looks like, is Journey to the Center of the Earth, which was a hit. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more work from that. Did that Hostel come out in theaters? I don't know.
Hostel 3? That's a good question. I don't know. I know the second one obviously did.
Yeah.
I don't know about the third one.
I kind of doubt it. Anyway.
Stuff. He's a gentle writer.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so, I mean, there's nothing to say about this movie. Like, I mean, in terms of the background to it. Like, they tried to get something going 2 years after I Still Know What You Did Last Summer with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze, and Brandy. Like, they did want to make that movie. And I think it was like they were asking for too much money. Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't really want to do it. It fell through the cracks, and they ended up not making it. But there was a period of time where they were developing this I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, where Love Hewitt had agreed to cameo.
Oh.
But I guess that never ended up happening. Because they are characters in the movie. Like, I always heard that this movie was, like, off to the side, didn't pay attention to the mythology of the first two.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that, but it's very, very odd, starting with the title, and then starting with the inclusion of past events. It's very strange.
I mean, it's a good title. Like, I think if you're gonna make a third one of these movies, it's at least a less dumb title than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which doesn't make sense.
Right, because if you still know...
then it's I Know What You Did 2 summers ago.
I knew. Yeah. I knew what you did last summer.
When it was one previous summer ago, I knew what you did last summer. But as it stands, I know what you did a couple summers ago.
That was the working title, so no one would figure out what movie was being filmed. That was the working title that stood outside the lot.
Definitely.
It was listen. Last summer was difficult. Something happened, but I knew what it was last summer.
Moving on. ... Is
that still part of the title?
Yes, still part of the title. Yeah.
I was a full pause in the...
Yeah, I want a period, then space, moving on, ... What's
that called, the take one?
What?
What's the thing, the black and white striped thing that you slap?
A clapper?
No, the action thing, the...
Yeah, clapper, like a clapper loader.
That's what it's called?
Yes.
With the director's name on it and scribble
yes.
marker. Okay, so they fit all that on the clapper.
Yeah.
You have to flip the clapper over.
I mean, did they fit I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer on a fucking clapper? I don't know.
No, very tiny writing.
Yeah.
They got a little ant or a crab, a little crab claw.
So anyway, I think it's a not bad title, but ultimately... It's a franchise installment with, like, all new characters. Like, a lot of times when you watch movies like this, one or two of the actors have, like, gone on to great success afterwards. So you're able to, like, watch this movie and go, like, hey, that guy. None of that here.
Didn't happen here?
No. Not even a little.
I swear to God, dude, when I was looking at the cast and then the movie started, I was like, I know her from surely I know that girl from somewhere. And that guy, That guy's been in something. He must have been in something.
I recognized one actress in this entire movie, and it was only because she was one of the Pretty Little Liars' older sisters.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you did recognize somebody.
The one who was the singer in the band.
She's my MVP.
That's your MVP.
Slim Pickens.
Yeah, what was the name of that band? I wrote it down.
Oh, I don't know, but her name was Zoe.
Oh, Zoe and the Hooks was the name of the band.
And the Hooks.
Why was it and the Hooks? Because, like, at the beginning of this movie, they're talking about, like, the legend of Ben Willis. It's so confusing. Because at the beginning of the movie, I thought that they were just talking about the urban legend that they're talking about at the beginning of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Me too.
They're saying, like, it's a guy with a fucking hook for a hand, he killed some teens or whatever. Like, I thought they were just setting that up. But then, like, at the end of the movie, it turns out that...
Not even at the end. They acknowledge, like, a half or three-quarters of the way through, at most, that this happened somewhere up north.
But they never refer to the characters. Like, I wanted someone to just say, like, what it should have been. Like, you know when I Know What You Did Last Summer, they're trying to do all that research. They're like, I feel like in that movie, they're like going to the library looking at microfiches.
Definitely. Yeah.
In this movie, they should have, like, discovered this, and, like, they could have, like, shown a photobomb, right? Like, where they're looking at a newspaper and going, like, Julie James was the one survivor, you know, but he killed all these people, Helen Shaver and Barry, and and then they could play Summer Breeze.
They could play Summer Breeze. I would get to play the photobomb song.
Oh, right.
It worked out better for everybody. You know, they're not the brightest here.
So, like, that was annoying. Like, they were trying to pull it into the other movie by saying, we're not referring to the urban legend, we're actually referring to the events of the first movie. But they never refer to any character specifically from the first movie. It is intensely frustrating.
I was wondering, it's a question for you. Now, this is going to sound like a dumb question, but, you know more about this stuff than I do. Despite it being connected, was there a copyright infringement thing going on maybe with
absolutely not names?
No issues. They could do whatever they wanted.
As far as I know, they had the rights. I mean, they credit it as characters created by Lois Duncan to cover their asses, but then they never mention any of the fucking characters that Lois Duncan created.
I just didn't know if maybe there was like another one still like in arbitration from years prior that never got settled. So you couldn't say the names of the characters or something. Yeah, it's very odd.
It's just poor storytelling. Yes. And you would think, like, the people that are going to watch I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer are almost exclusively going to be fans of the first two movies.
Obviously.
So, that's, like, they're going to want to, like, that's a nice moment when you're watching a movie like that. They'll pop when they hear Freddie Prinze Jr.'s name.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's so annoying. It's so stupid.
Having said all that, I do want to jump right in to one of my favorite moments in the movie. I do not say that with irony.
Great.
Was at the beginning when I believe it's Roger, because they say his name a lot. Roger.
Roger's the one who was in the fisherman costume.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So they're playing a prank.
Yeah, this is the premise of this is the basic setup of the movie. Henry's going to explain right now.
Fantastic. It is a circus, carnival, whatever, at this little sleepy town in, I believe, Colorado. I think we're in.
Yes, we're in Denver, Newfoundland. We're in Colorado Springs, very Montreal.
Cold. Yeah, very cold down there, eh? And so they were at each other's house, and then they went out to the.
I guarantee you, every actor in this movie has been on Smallville.
Sure, absolutely. And so they want to play a prank, as one does, on their friend PJ. Now, I would accredit some intellect to the horror writers because of PJ Souls from Halloween, but I'm not going to.
I think it was just going to be on like the whole carnival, but PJ
Correct.
obviously took the brunt of it.
Oh boy, did he!
But you know what? PJ deserved to die here, and because he thinks that. So this guy Roger is wearing the fisherman's costume, right? But we don't know that as the audience,
No, we do not.
And PJ doesn't know that.
No.
So this fucking fisherman with a huge hook comes jumping out, swinging at people, trying to kill people.
Right.
And this PJ, the first thing he does is throw his skateboard down on the ground and jump on it and start riding away. If your first instinct in a crisis is to ride your skateboard, you deserve to die.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's not going to get you anywhere any faster. Just FYI to all our
He started riding that thing around on that roof. I'm like, where do you think you're going?
Why did he go on the fucking roof?
Because in horror movies, people climb instead of going outwards.
So, again, my crowd mentality here kicks in. There's one guy wielding a hook. We're in Colorado. I think it's open carry. Somebody would have shot this guy right there. Anyway, it's okay. So then at one point, you would think Roger, and this is what I love. Roger gets PJ onto the roof of the building. PJ has to stop, pick up the board, kind of regroup, put the board down again, keep it. You'd think at one point Roger would be going, all right. This was a great prank. I got everybody at the carnival freaked out.
I scared my friend so fucking hard that he skateboarded up to a roof. It is time for me to reveal the prank.
He goes all the way with the prank. Now, I'll give it to Raj. He knows how to complete a prank, but he doesn't know when to call it quits. PJ skates off the roof, does a very convincing fall, kind of sideways, impales himself on what looks like an overturned forklift. I'm not sure why the snake is going up. And the entire sequence is so obscenely stupid. And then you quickly find out, especially when you quickly find out that it's Raj.
They should have just done The Omen. Remember when the dude falls on the fence post in The Omen? They should have done like an extreme version of it where like a dude ollies off a fucking roof and then impales himself on a
roof.
Yeah.
Maybe do extreme close-up of Raj's face, and things are not all in the prank department with him. You know what I mean? Maybe he's like got a little twinkle in his eyes, like, yeah, it was a prank, but I'm kind of liking this.
Yeah, let PJ at least go out doing a 1080 is what I'm saying.
There's lots of moves. They could have dignified his death.
Yeah, come on. Just falling off that roof.
Triplet axle, doing somersaults. We did just kind of fucking. He falls off the roof on a skateboard like I would.
Here's another reason.
Bad as a kid, as a skateboard. I could actually skateboard. He
don't believe
falls
you.
like me. No, I could skateboard.
I'd love to see that.
Oh, now if that's not a question. I'd throw my back out. But back then I could. But he just kind of limp. He just kind of.
Yeah. Here's another reason I don't feel bad. Is earlier in the night, he went up to them and said, yeah, just enlisted, going into the army tomorrow.
Fantastic point. Dude, it's 2006, man.
This fucker's dead. Enlist. Are you kidding me?
Don't enlist. That's the height of the surge. That's the year of the surge. Don't enlist, man.
Yeah, bro. You're not going to make it to 2021 when America just straight up fucking ghosted Afghanistan. Awesome. Henry, are you with me? Okay, great. So,
I'm sweating like Satan's chain over.
So, everyone's got plans. We set that up earlier in the movie. But, of course, what happens is the next year everyone's very guilty about what happened, so no one does the plans. We have our main girl, who's like clearly the final girl is this girl named Amber.
Ah.
I realized I'm watching too much wrestling because the first time they said Amber, I thought they said armbar.
You just realized that,
No. While I was watching.
13 years after we've met that you watch a lot of wrestling.
Too much. All right. So Brooke Nevin is this actress. You don't know her from anything. Neither do I. She's actually been on a lot of shows I've watched, but I just cannot place her.
Yeah. That happens a lot with things we cover on this show.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
She is in an episode of Smallville. And so she's dating this fella, Colby, played by David Payetkow. Do you know that he had large roles in 3 movies that we've covered on the franchise?
Oh, fucking way.
I swear to you.
I believe you. What?
We have talked about this actor, and I believe you liked him.
Oh, really? Now you got to tell me more.
So he is Canadian.
Obviously.
And he can skate, Henry. And that is why he had roles in both Goon movies, as well as Slapshot 2, Breaking the Ice.
Oh, wow.
But do you remember him in that movie? I think he's like the hot prospect in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Stephen Baldwin one?
Yeah, remember, it's like Stephen Baldwin, and then Gary Busey's like the owner or something.
Sure.
And do you remember there's like a female coach in that movie?
Yeah.
And they're on the bus, and there's like one young guy who's like the hot prospect. I think it's this guy.
Oh, wow. Good fucking memory. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I do not remember him in the other thing you said.
The Goon movies. He's on the team.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I must not have thought he was that terrible at all then. Yeah.
There you go. He's your LVP in this.
Bad in this.
I like him in this because he's sort of a bully, and he's very blonde. He plays a good blonde guy.
Yeah, he's such a dick in this movie. He's just too much of a dick. I couldn't even say that's a great act. That's a good actor doing a bad, a good asshole. He's just too annoying.
I think it was a decent slasher douchebag.
Every response he has is douchebaggery.
Yeah.
So it was like I couldn't.
Well, that's true. Like early on in the movie, you kind of can't understand why he's with the main girl.
Yeah.
Like you can put the secondary character Sarah Michelle Gellar with the dick in
Yes.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. You can't put the one who we're supposed to be sympathizing with the most with that character because then we just want that guy to die the whole movie.
Yeah,
and you want her to end up with this other guy, Lance.
Yeah, the milquetoast Lance guy with the funky hairdo.
I looked him up, mostly Olsen Twins stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, that makes sense.
His name is Ben Easter. That sounds fake. I think that might be Ben's other son.
Well, on the third day, Easter.
Easter, yeah, like the resurrection, right?
Oh, right.
Ben. Oh, that would be a great fake name for Ben Willis. Call himself Ben Easter.
Yeah, Ben Third Day.
Yeah.
Ben Assumption.
So the plan is for this blonde guy and the final girl to move out to California together, where he is going to attend college, and she is going to, quote, become the next American Idol.
That was fucking weird. And I also, I remembered that remark later in the movie, and I thought he must have been referring to Zoe because she's the singer.
No.
He was referring to the blonde.
Yeah, he thinks Amber has a better voice than Zoe. Well, we don't see her sing. Maybe she's great, Henry. Who knows?
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Sure to me.
But my problem with this is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how American Idol works. They go to all these tiny towns in America and hold these huge open auditions, and then if you do well, they say, "You're going to Hollywood!" I don't believe you can just drive to Hollywood and show up and say, "All right, I'm on American Idol now."
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, they didn't read the fine print or listen to any of the ads or watch the show, so.
Well, they should tweet at Ryan Seacrest. He might be able to correct them.
Sure, he'd answer.
Yeah. So we followed them to 1 year later. Everyone's sort of bummed out. Fucking Amber's still in the town.
Yeah, Roger's addicted to painkillers and alcohol.
Right. He's real. He's like working in a sort of a metal shop. What was happening there?
I don't.
At one point, he was up on this big rig, and they had it looked like they had attached a camera to the rig, and they were shooting it like that fucking car sequence in Ocean's 11, like we were watching some sort of a third-person movie where you're on a welding rig.
Yeah. He's got the big welder's mask. He refuses to sort of stop moving the thing. Almost runs over those two gals.
It's actually the best-looking scene in the entire movie.
Just because it's uniquely thought out.
Yeah, and the movie looks aggressively bad. I actually think this Sylvain White guy gets off on using like shitty film stock. Like everything looks really grainy the whole movie, and it must be by design, but it looks like shit.
I have to say, I think so. I mean, you don't do that because you don't have enough money. I mean, you just fucking shoot that shit on a digital camera or something. It's 2006. That's a choice. I mean, what I thought was he was using, because you even see shots like this later with like sort of the fast movement of the characters. I think he watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, 2003, and I just thought of that a few times, which we've covered. Check our.
There's a little
episode.
of that. He's fucking with like the frame rate or something.
Yeah, exactly. Frame rate, right? Yeah.
I don't know. It looks terrible. And to me, if you're a director of a third movie in a horror franchise, your only job is to make the movie look of a piece with the first two, and he fucking totally fails in that.
He probably is thinking, I'm French. I'm going to come in here. No one's going to fucking watch this movie. I'm going to do whatever I want on it. It's all that matters.
But why would you make it look worse? He's actually attached himself to one of the only horror franchises where, like, part of the design of the movie is that they're too expensive and they look really nice.
Yeah. I think
there's helicopter shots in this franchise.
There is. You're right. I think that he, in his brain, it doesn't look bad. I don't think he thinks it.
Well, I would like to correct him. It looks very bad.
Je m'appelle Sylvain White Blanc. Why isn't it Blanc?
Did The Losers look any better? Did you see that?
No.
That was a big movie. I feel like people saw that. I kind of wanted to when it was out. I think Gerard Butler. Oh. It was based on a comic book that I read, actually.
Oh. I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. What happened? So we're still a year later. Is Roger's the first one that dies, right?
That's a good question. I'm looking right now. I think you're right. Oh, there's a great ski lift sequence.
Oh, I hated that sequence. It doesn't look like she's in a ski lift.
No, it does not.
I think they just shot it as an interior and pretend that it's a ski lift. You can't see anything.
She's seated like I am right now, with her feet on the ground, and that is some real shit maneuvering.
Yeah, it looks like real trash, dude.
Yeah.
When they find Roger, did you notice that you can clearly see the actor blink when he's supposed to be dead?
Okay, well, first of all, he's about to commit suicide, and then he's disturbed by committing suicide by the hook guy, and then
no, he had already written a suicide note though, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it did work out, and that's kind of I kind of was a little angry at Supernatural Fishman because let him go out on his own.
No, I think it's a cool move by Supernatural Fishman. If I was Supernatural Fishman, I would have ripped up the fucking suicide note. I ripped up the suicide, or like just like left it there and like left a note like he wrote this, but I fucking murdered this asshole.
Let me, right in blood, let me be clear. This is the handiwork of Fishmonger.
Yeah, this was a murder, not a suicide. In blood.
Although he probably can't see that well to write because he's got those red orbs.
So it comes down to the final party that, like in the first I Know What You Did Last Summer, it's like the Croaker Queen contest or whatever.
What's contained?
What?
This is a gig. It's a contained atmosphere in that shitty theater. This is a it's my one chance. The guy's going to be here for an agent to see my man Zoe's hooks. I'm not leaving to save my life. And then the guy in the crutches, the old boyfriend's like, whatever, fuckers. Oh, fine. After that, I'll go with you.
First of all, I'm 100% with Zoe on this. She has been given an opportunity with her band. Think about it, Henry. Her band, Zoe and the Hooks. Yeah. This shitty band, that nobody knows from, South Park, Ontario. Yeah. And, no one's ever gonna hear this band. They're they're the worst band in the world. First of all, just horrible rock and roll music, and they live in this awful town. So they get this warehouse gig.
In the Crow made you appreciate Brandon Lee's band in the Crow, which we already did appreciate.
Yeah, I already did appreciate them.
Yeah. Nova Scotia, Colorado. Yeah.
It's very good. All right, so it's like a big performance for this band at a warehouse. They're told there are like A&R reps from like all the record labels coming to see Zoe and the Hooks. And it's clearly to come to see them specifically. Like they're acting like it's a showcase. But like the guy before them was just like this shitty like acoustic guitar crooner. And then it's like, and now for the real band, Zoe and the Hooks. Let's bring them out. Here she is, Spencer's older sister from Pretty Little Liars. And, they come out there and perform. I'm totally with her. First of all, like, you're never going to be heard. So even if there's a chance you're going to die, like, perform. Second of all, like, you are on stage. Like, to me, the move for her would be to perform with the band. And then the second the show is over, instead of like disappearing backstage with her friends, to just hop off stage, go out into the audience and like mingle with the A&R people. It's not a real show. You don't have to like protect the mystery of your band. You're trying to get a deal.
Yeah. Fair point.
But she doesn't do that and she ends up getting murdered.
Yeah, it is very funny what Dan says here because I had a similar thought when they're standing by that shack in the desert, which is unexplained, and she makes her decision, and she's like, I'm going to go to my show. And it did cross my mind. I was like, well,
I'm going to go to my show.
I get it. Gonna go to my show. And I kind of got it. I was like, well, maybe you shouldn't, but then I was like with Dan on that. I was like, probably 6 of one, half dozen the other. Why not? And then,
if a murder was after you, Henry, on the 1-year anniversary of you killing a person,
okay,
and on that night, Lord Awesome got a huge opportunity, I would want Lord Awesome to do it.
Here's the kicker, my friend. If ICE decided, hey, or if the three had band members, we decided we're going to go do the show. You, as my friend, assume you're one of the people, because it's just me and the band who's being pursued by this fisherman. And you, as a friend, are also part of that group being... Would you, as one of my friends, be like, Hank, I think you shouldn't? And
no. I would encourage you to go.
You'd have to go with me then.
I would be in the audience. I honestly think it's not that hard to avoid psycho killers.
Well,
like
either, but
this fisherman, okay? And we learn he's a ghost fisherman, but let's take it as read that he's just a fisherman here.
At that point, we think he's still a man.
All right, yeah. And if this is a man who is letting you know that he wants to kill you on the 1-year anniversary of you doing this horrible prank where you killed skateboarder PJ, like, all you would have to do is avoid him for that one day. And, like, honestly, this is a best case scenario. We go to this show, we're in fucking public, just stay around the crowd. You know? And then when you leave, follow the crowd to the subway, go to a diner. You know? It's not that fucking difficult.
You know, there's a lot of horror movies where you enter the crowd and then the killer's in the crowd and he shanks you right when you're not looking. You know, you got to be careful. I might just stay on stage and be that guy. I might be like, I'm not leaving, guys. We're gonna do a 6-hour set. Oh
no! Well, then you're not getting the deal. All right.
And you're leaving.
And I'm out of there. Yeah.
I'll be out. I'm in the car, man.
This is my 3rd time hearing Hellbender. I think I'm good.
Hank, we made a deal, man. What are you doing? Let's go. All right. I don't drive, but we got somebody else drive the car.
But they don't do any of that. They just sort of like disappear into like quiet alcoves and wait to get murdered. Also, this is during the period of the movie they're like suspecting the sheriff of being the murderer, and I'm like, guys, stop. Just stay away from the sheriff.
Right, just avoid him.
You murdered someone last year. Why are you trying to antagonize a sheriff?
Good point. Also, an ex-Marine Special Ops Forces, as the nephew declares quite distinctly, if you recall.
I do.
Or somebody declares. I don't know who it was.
It was PJ, I think, at the beginning.
You guys, he was Special Ops Marine. He could find us if he wants to.
No, it was all that exposition where it's like, hey, I enlisted today. As you know, my father was also in the Army as a Special Ops Marine.
Well, but it comes up later, I beg to differ. It's an important script for us to talk about. They also say, because they're like, so what? Big fucking deal. He's a sheriff. He's like, no, he was also a fucking Marine. Special Ops.
So lame. Oh, and there's that like deputy sheriff who's hanging around this movie waiting to die too.
I thought he would be the killer. He's the only one throughout the whole movie. I thought, all right, maybe him.
You know why? Because he's kind of not bad, that actor. Like, he's actually giving a performance, so you think
too, because
you think, wow, he's bringing something to the movie as opposed to everybody else. He must be the killer.
Because he's also in love with what's her face, her of the two guys, and
yeah, the main one.
So they run over the fisherman.
Yeah.
And this is a great moment because they run over him, and my horror movie mind is going. So they look back, and he gets back up, and yeah, I mean, whether he's a man or a ghost, you get back up.
I was thinking, you better get out of the car, go see if he's okay, and try to take his mask off.
Also very advisable. But I like that they're not in any way self-conscious that they're in this situational movie here. So when he like starts to show movement and gets up, she literally says, "No fucking way." And I'm like, "Way?"
Yeah,
whether
but
he's
then,
a ghost or not.
You know, what happens is he then like chases their car, right? And she has a hook because Roger got the hook from the water earlier. Ugh. And it's on eBay? He says that?
They got it on eBay.
I don't remember that.
It's the original, guys, and they're like, bullshit. And I guess it is, because the original hook is the only thing that can harm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So she stabs him in the arm with that hook, and he starts bleeding black blood.
What was that blood? What the fuck was that black stuff coming out?
It's ghost blood.
Yeah.
Because as it turns out, in the last movie, we had to reckon with Ben's son. But in this movie, we have to... It's Ben's ghost.
It's nobody's ghost. It's the legend come to life. They say it. It's like, oh, now it's manifested itself.
It's specifically Ben Willis's ghost, though, who comes alive to kill teenagers who specifically have done bad things one summer, and now it's the next summer.
Okay, but I don't know. I think that's up for contention.
This is a ghost who only has malice towards summer accidents and waits 1 calendar year before attacking. Okay?
Not the scariest. I mean, really. Also, if you have pissed off, if you've done something evil on the 4th of July and you can anticipate this guy's coming for you, go somewhere either very well populated for the 4th of July or very desolate. Arrange a trip to, the Yukon territories in Canada and go dog sledding where there's not a human around. Spend the 4th there.
I honestly, I don't recommend that because, you don't want to let the prospect of this ghost fisherman ruin your whole life. Let yourself have a nice 4th.
1 day a year?
It's a good holiday.
Turn it into something fun. Turn it with your wife. Be like, honey, you know what's coming.
But you never know, man. The fisherman showed up in the fucking Bahamas.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you go to a very, very chilly place with some Arctic dogs.
Maybe if you just go inland, maybe if you hang out in Monument Valley.
Dry out.
He's not gonna show up there in his slicker.
Showed up in this movie. In the middle of where is she driving?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she is in the desert
or something. Yeah.
But that's a dream, right? I assume all cliffhangers in these movies are dreams now.
I certainly hope so because I really wanted her to live.
Yeah, because there was one of these in the second one too. And I'm not just assuming Jennifer Love Hewitt's dead at the end of that movie.
No. She needs to live. Yeah. She needs to survive. She will survive.
Very good. Oh, we skipped one of my other favorite parts of the movie, Henry, when at one point they're trying to hide out from the killer, but then a cartoon spider crawls across them, and it distracts her, and she goes, "Meow!" And then the killer finds them.
What was that? I didn't think it was a spider. It looked like a big beetle.
It was a CG spider.
Oh, my. So he's very scared of insects. I do not know your name, actor man, but if I get a prosthetic, insect, put it on your shoulder. No way, man. No way, French dude.
You better do that in post, buddy.
I got a thing about insects, bro. I can't handle it.
Arachnids in particular.
These American fucking pieces of merd.
Merd. Yeah. All right. Great stuff. What do you give this movie?
Ooh, let's see. I'm gonna give this one old shooting star.
Yeah, me too. Who's your MVP?
Zoe, the rock girl. Brought a little forced aughts personality to the movie. Very aughts, angsty, tattooed, gothy girl. There you go.
I mean, kind of. She just looks like...
Not at all, but she just looks different than the other one, so I was like, oh, let's go with her.
You know what? I'll give it to Skateboard Kid.
Really? Now he doesn't even pop a wheelie.
I'll pop a wheelie. And the LVP, who are you going with? Colby?
Mr. Colby. Colby Jack Cheese. Yeah.
I hate you.
He's cheddar.
God, who the fuck do I go with?
I don't know, man. Better be an actor.
Oh, it will be. I mean, there's so many to choose from. Maybe that guy too. No, you know what? The main girl sucked. You know what's weird? I'm going with the lead actress in all three of these movies.
You are. I could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Not much.
I don't know. The dudes were all bad too. I don't know. Everyone sucked in this movie.
Yeah. This is an experience. I'm glad I paid $3 for it.
Me too. Oh, Henry. So how do you rank them? 1, 2, 3?
Yes, sir.
I was worried you were going to say 1, 3, 2.
No. No.
All right.
I mean, the second one at least looks like a fucking movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
got Jennifer Esposito in it. You know, that's something.
Mark Boone Jr.
Mark Boone Jr., Jackie Blackie.
Jackie Blackie, my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry, what are we doing?